Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick here dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable start to your week. As for me, I'm excited about everything that's going on. For me, what we're doing at Rick Wallace Enterprises, which includes the Visionetics Institute, which is doing substantial scaling right now. I am thankful for the team that is working on side of me to make sure that my vision bears fruit. Let me tell you something, and I want to make this about what I'm going to talk about today. Les Brown always says that people aren't failing because of the fact that they're aiming too high and missing, but they're failing because they're aiming too low and hitting. And one of the things that I've always tried to do with my clients is to get them to understand that what seems reasonable to the rational mind isn't what's going to propel you into the stratosphere of phenomenal. The thing that you look at and say, well, that isn't reasonable. I don't see how I can possibly do that in this amount of time. And so what you do is you shrink your vision, you dwarf your goals, you reduce the vividness and the color of your imagination about what it is you desire and you want, and you make it fit into what you think you're capable of doing, and you shrink that goal. And you may very well hit it, but in doing so, you fail at living the fullness of what you were designed to do. And I want to talk to you about that. Before I do, I want to remind you, hey, this is that month where we're doing crazy thing. I told you that we were taking all of our programs and courses online. Well, this week, the first course, my most prolific course over the last 10 years, is going up on this Friday, and it's going to be priced at over $1,000. I told you this was going to happen. I told you all the stuff that I was doing over the summer was going to come to the end, that they were going to eventually reel me in, and that the courses would go up. But the value is there. The value has always been there. I just wanted to reach people that may not have been able to afford what we are doing here as much and often as I can. And I'll still be doing things, but it will have to be within the constructs of what we're designing so that it makes business sense. A lot of what I've been doing didn't make business sense. I was just doing it because my heart told me to do it. Some of the breaks and price breaks that I've given out make no business sense whatsoever. But everything from this point on will have to make business sense in some sort of way. It may not pay on the front end, but it'll have to pay on the back end. And we have all that worked out. So that's not, but what I want to do is, for a limited time, up until the program actually launches on Friday, I am offering the course, which again will be priced at over $1,000, for $397. That's 15 modules, and it's Crushing Limiting Beliefs, my most prolific course, Crushing Limiting Beliefs. Limiting beliefs is one of the most stifling forces when it comes to success and elevation that you can imagine. Believing that you can't do something, believing that only certain people can do something, believing that because of where you come from, you limit it, believing other people's opinions about you, believing so many things that literally bring you into a place where you are shrank into something that's so much less than your capacity. God put a gift inside of all of us. And it's that gift that opens up space for you. It's that gift that allows you to expand your impact and your reach. And the problem is most people are still living based off of beliefs someone else impressed upon them. And for that reason, they're not getting anywhere. This course I created 7 years ago or so. I licensed it to an institution that I can't name because they were selling it as their own. They had the license to do so. 5 years, the license was up. This was last year, and I decided not to relicense it. That was big because that was a big amount of money that my business needed at the time. But I wanted control over my intellectual property because I wanted to take it somewhere. And there are some things I'm doing this year that I'm so freaking excited about because of where it's going and the lives it's going to touch. Here is an opportunity to take this program. It's 15 modules over 5.5 hours of video lectures by yours truly on overcoming limiting beliefs. And once you push a belief out of the way and you replace it with a belief that says I can, limitless. And here's an opportunity to do that at a fraction of what it's going to cost once we actually turn the program on. But if you get in now, you can get it at a fraction at $397. And if you've worked with me, if you happen to be one of the few people that were lucky enough to experience this course live when I taught it, you understand the dynamic at play here. And I get excited every time I say live because I got live events coming. I mean, when I say live, I don't mean just on screen. We're going back to the stage. We're going back to my first love, the thing that I started out doing, public speaking. So we're going back to that. And it's going to be an electrifying event. It's so much more than a lecture. It's an experience. It's life-changing. You will not be the same. And we're going to talk about that. But for now, go to the description box, click that link, take advantage of this unbelievable opportunity. Now, let's get into this. Look, let me tell you something. One of the things that I literally say every day, one of the things that is a part of my creed, what I call the Warrior's Creed, is that we will not live by dwarf goals and colorless dreams. We will not shrink ourselves in order to fit into some idea of what's possible. We will break the bridge and the ceiling of possibility so that we can achieve and do the things that we desire to do. It is absolutely nothing holding you back but the belief that you can be held back. You got to understand, the vast majority of the things that you're experiencing now is conveniences that you don't even give a second thought to, are things that at one point somebody believed, or all people believed, to be impossible. We jump on planes now without ever thinking that somebody was telling Orville and Wilbur, you're absolutely nuts. You got to think about that. We're sitting up now, we pick up cell phones that aren't just phones anymore. They're literally full computers that you can do almost anything you can do on your desktop and your laptop on right there in your pocket. And if there was a point in time we couldn't even talk, and the idea of being able to pick up a phone with a landline and talk to somebody was crazy. And now here we are, we can talk to someone around the world. Forget that, we could jump on the screen like I'm doing with you right now. And no matter where you at, you can see me, you can talk to me real time. Why? Somebody's imagination said it was possible when everyone else was saying it was crazy. Look at the things that you see on the Jetsons now. We're doing all of it. And it's unbelievable because when that thing came out, it was fully fictional and fantasy, right? No, it was somebody's imagination about what was to come. And then people took from that, looked from that and said, well, hell, why don't we do it? Why don't we try it? That's all it is. If you want to be someone that's actually doing something exceptional, if you want to be someone who's actually doing something extraordinary, if you want to be someone who's actually doing something phenomenal, then you are going to have to get outside of the bounds of trying to fit into the box that everyone has created that says this is what's acceptable, this is what you can do, this is the limits of your life, this is as far as you will get to go. Don't even think about stepping outside of that box. You're going to have to get outside of the box. You're going to have to aim high. The fear shouldn't be about aiming high and missing. The fear should be about aiming low and hitting. See, if I aim high and I miss, I might not hit what I'm aiming at, but I'm going to hit over what I would have shrank myself to if I would have tried to limit myself to what I know I can do. I'm not operating on reason and rationale. I'm operating on faith, and faith, by the very dynamic of its definition, is about the phenomenal. It's about the extraordinary. It's about being beyond what you can expect in reason. It's about saying, I have moved beyond reason. I can't sit down and figure it out on a piece of paper, but I believe it in the deepest recesses of my soul that it's possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out in it without knowing in certainty what the next thing will be that will happen in my life, but I'm trusting and believing that I hold the capacity to it. And it's at that moment when you step out beyond what you can see into the realm of faith that providence begins to move. A bunch of you are waiting on something that's waiting on you. You're waiting on something to show up to show you that it's possible. You're waiting on something to show up to show you that you can do something beyond what you've ever imagined or seen. And it's waiting on you to move. See, providence doesn't move till you move. Providence doesn't move until it's been triggered. It's triggered by the first step of faith. You're going to have to step outside and from behind fear. You're going to have to step outside and from behind struggle. You're going to have to step outside and from behind the idea that people are going to talk about me, that I might bump my head, that I might fall back. You're going to have to get ready to step out there. And then when you do, providence open. I can't tell you how many times in my life. Let's just go recently, relatively recently. Sitting in Starbucks few years back, and I was using Starbucks as a satellite office at the time. I didn't want to work from home in the home office, and at that time, I didn't have my office that I have now. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm working every day, same spot, because I'm the first one there. 5 o'clock they open, I'm in there, and I'm working same spot every day. People are coming in, and after a while, they're the regulars, and they come and they say, "Hey, how's it going?" They speak to you, "Hey, how's it going?" And they come by, and they'll stop and maybe say a couple of words, but they keep moving. These same people keep moving every day, and I'm sitting up, and there are these big things that I have on my vision board, these big things that I want to go out and do, and I'm sitting there, and I'm going, man. Then one day I just decide, you know what? To hell with it. It's not going to all come together. I know better than this. I'm stepping out. I'm just going to go out there. This is the day I do it. So I send an email out to several people that I need to work with me to make it happen. When I see that email out, a person that has walked by me probably at that time at least 50 times, spoke to me and kept moving, stops and say, "Hey, man, I see you sitting here every day. What is it that you do?" We get to talking, and I tell them where I'm at, and I'm telling them, what I'm about to step out and do. And they go, "Man, you know what? My brother-in-law," there it goes, same day, another person stops by. They sit up and say, "Well, hey, if you need somebody to get behind you and help you fund that, I can help you." I didn't even ask for help funding. I'm sitting there minding my own business. What did I do? I stepped out. It's at that moment when you step out, providence begins to move. Things that you could never have expected or thought would happen starts to happen. Why? That's how God designed the universe. It responds to faith. Faith isn't when you say you believe it. Faith is when you act like you believe it. Faith is when you start moving and people are going, "You're crazy." People are saying, "You better be careful." People are saying, "You're going to fool around and you're going to lose everything." People are saying, "You can't do that. You know where you come from." People are sitting up and saying, you know your past." People are telling you everything. There are a bunch of people that want to remind you about things that tell you that you can't do it. Those aren't the people you listen to. You find people that are willing to fan your flames. You find people who will look inside of you and see the greatness inside of you, even when sometimes when you're not doing it. You got to be able to sit up and look at yourself and say, "You know what? I'm not the mistakes of my past. I'm not the failures of yesterday. I am the potential burning inside of me that is yearning to come out and express itself in greatness. That's who I am." God didn't design me to be mediocre. God didn't design me to be average. God didn't design me to stand around and look as if, all I can do is observe the beautiful, wonderful things of life. No, God designed me to step out and be an expression of divinity. God designed me to be an expression of himself. God designed me to step out and show the world what's possible when you express your God-given talents in their fullness, in their totality. When you unleash your potential, like Dr. Miles Monroe said, man, the cemetery is the wealthiest place on the planet because people took their gifts to the grave without ever exploring the possibilities of what they were capable of doing. Don't let that be you. Oh, no. People aren't failing because they're aiming too high. They're failing because they're aiming too low. They're accepting a definition of what's possible given to them by people who never explored anything. I guarantee you, if you ask anybody who has stepped outside of the bounds of what's considered normal, they're never going to tell you to just stay where you're supposed to be and stay in the box. They're going to tell you, if you want to experience something, you're going to have to get out of that box. That box of limited thinking, that box of being okay with being average, that box of meandering through the maze of mediocrity, that box that sits up and says, I dare not step out into the world of infinite possibilities to explore greatness because I might fail. Failure is inevitable, but it's not final. Failure doesn't become final until you quit. As long as you're breathing, you're still in the fight. The wins that I've experienced in this life isn't because I knew all the answers. The wins I've experienced in this journey isn't because I didn't have any resistance. The wins that I've experienced have oftentimes come in the midst of great adversity. I didn't win because I had the answers. I didn't win because I knew the right people. I won because I wouldn't quit. I made life go find somebody else to play with. I'm not afraid of adversity. I'm not afraid of setbacks. I'm not afraid of judgment. I don't care what other people think. I'm shooting for something. I've got to return to God. No matter what faith you practice, no matter what religious you understand, there is some form that says at some point we go back and we give an account. Whether you're returning as spiritual energy, whether you're returning as a different form of yourself, whatever it is, you're returning to that which sent you, and you're going to have to give an account of what you did with what you were given. I'm going to go back and say I turned the world upside down. I gave people hope. I gave people choices. I touched lives. I helped people heal. I expressed love to the fullest point of my ability. I express love beyond pain. I express love beyond doubt. I express love in ways that you can't even imagine because I wanted to be a representation of what sent me. Stop aiming low. Speak it, think it, reject anything that comes out in opposition of it. You're going to have to learn how to be bold enough in your gifting to challenge the status quo of what's expected in your circle. At the same time, you're going to have to start inviting people into your circle that are willing to show you a new level, that are willing to fan your flames, that are willing to call things that are not as though they were. That's my challenge to you. That's my challenge to you. Stop letting the opinions of other people define you. Stop letting other people's limiting beliefs be the barriers and parameters by which you operate in this world. I dare you. Step outside of the box. Start believing in the exceptional gift that God has given you. Take it off, dust it off, refine it, and set it free. Unleash the greatness inside of you. Look, I'm going to be really excited and enjoying what's happening in my world, in my life, with my business. And I'm inviting you along for the ride. There are going to be a bunch of different opportunities for you guys to work with me on a number of different levels. You find where you fit in. Everybody can't fit in every area, but you find somewhere you can fit in. I'm telling you, I am going to show you how to break free. We are not leaving out of this year bound. Not if you're going to be around me, not if you're going to listen to me, not if you're going to ride with me on a daily basis. We don't ride bound. We don't ride hemmed up. We don't ride afraid. We step out and we walk into it. And let me tell you, you're going to take bumps and bruises. Life is going to throw things at you, but you're built for it. How many times have you heard me say that at my most trying moments when I couldn't come up with an answer immediately, I needed to settle myself so that I could move confidently. I just looked myself in the mirror and said, you're built for this. It might not be comfortable, but you're built for this. It might hurt a little, but you're built for this. You can't see around the corner, but you're built for this. I want you to know you are built for everything that you're going to face in this life. Now it's time to stand up and walk out there and become everything you were designed to become. You don't want to return to the designer saying, I didn't fulfill my design. That's the challenge. I'm about to get off here. Don't forget, this is the one opportunity to get that Crushing Limiting Beliefs course at a fraction of what it's going to be on Friday when it goes up. That's our first online course. We're releasing them in succession. So we're doing it one at a time so that everybody can get an idea of what's out there. But Crushing Limiting Beliefs has been the most prolifically selling and successful course that we've had. It's going to be over $1,000 come Friday. We're giving it to you now for $397. Plus, we're giving you a bonus, the Breaking the Curse of Procrastination course, another $1,500 course, absolutely free if you sign up now. So that's it. I'm getting out of here. Whatever you do, you got to take that first step. You are not operating in faith until you take that first blind step. You're operating in reason, you're operating in fear, you're operating in rationale, but you're not operating in faith. Faith is when you take that first blind step. You can't see what's going to happen. You can't guarantee. The certainty is definitely on the table. Uncertainty is definitely on the table, but you take it anyway because you're trusting something at the innermost center part of yourself that's coming from the very source of divine power that's sitting up saying you can do it. If you listen closely, not audibly, but from here, God is speaking, saying, take the step. I got it from there. Just take the step and let me unleash providence in your life. That's the power of this thing. Look, I'm stepping out of here. Don't sit on your gift. I can't express that enough. On that note, look, I'm going to get out of here. As I always say, I live my life on full. So when I leave this place, I don't eat. I'm challenging you to do the exact same thing. I'm out. You guys have an unbelievable remainder of your day.